We got Edge Cooper working with the edge guys. You can see it's kind of a new for this year. You see they have the it looks like either the pass rush lanes or those might even be the technique assignments. They have it painted on the field there. There's also some target points for like maintaining the edge sort of scenario. So they had Cooper over there running on some of those edge rush drills with Coach Covington and Coach Ogabasi over there. So I just thought that was interesting. Kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, and as Holmes says here, Jacob, Gary looks much thicker than young Frosty there, and Cooper put on 20 pounds this offseason. So the 20 pounds, obviously, it could be multifaceted, right? We talked about how most mock linebackers were somewhere between 6'2" and 6'4", 240 pounds. That was kind of the ideal weight. So when you heard he blimped up to 240, you think maybe we're going to kick him the mock overall. But also, it didn't really cross my mind like, hey, maybe we will rush the passer with him a little bit more, which he was effective at 220 last year. But what do you think about Cooper working with the edge defenders here, man? This is probably more about that A-gap mug and that blitz, right? Those scrapes that we ran last year.
Yeah, for sure. But a part of me can't help but fantasize about if we're throwing some kind of Micah Parsons stuff going in there. Well, all of a sudden, like, we realize that he is a really good edge defender / just pass rusher / blitzer and just in general. I really do think that we didn't see that from him a lot last year, but in the small doses that we did, just like everything else Cooper did, he made it look easy and he made it look effortless. And if there is a part of that, I mean, man, I'm getting really too excited here because we think about all these different parts and components, much like the offense when you're like, well, who are they going to stop? If Reed's on all cylinders, Watson, but same thing on defense. If these guys take a step, like I know that we've been talking about guys like LVN and Gary moving inside. I'm not giving up on Devontae Wyatt, and what he does is he takes a progression.
That's the person we didn't even mention.
Didn't even mention him.
That's your best pass rusher on the interior. It's just crazy. So I was trying to keep the conversation around why would we take Kenny off the field, but Devontae's going to be our top pass rushing defensive tackle. That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Yeah. And as Joseph says here too, just wait till Oliver's out there rushing the edge too, man. Yep. I mean, I was really hoping we could see him in camp, Tim, because when we did his chalk talk, his college tape breakdown, my goodness, man, he was so twitchy and just looked like he reminded me of a basketball player. Like, some guys just play the game of football and it's like they find the football and they know how to time the leap and bat the passes down and this and that. It was all over his tape. It's just like, man, that dude just seems like he's, for lack of a better way of saying it, good at the football. You know what I mean? So love to see him on the field soon too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Deadfish says Cooper's 240, Gary 275. Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Jacob, you're going to get excited over this clip as our buddy Baz over there at Basarsky Productions tweeted this out. Great rep from Javon Bullard out of the nickel. Manned up on Kraft on a crosser. Bull struggled with this a bit last year. Big year two in store, man. Everybody has kind of written Bullard off, We seen Evan Williams take that safety job from him, and then we seen Bullard play a little bit better in the slot than he did safety. What if Bullard comes out this year and he's the player that we thought he was when we got excited about him being drafted, Jake? That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, this has become personal with me because I can tell Ryan is not a fan of Bullard. Ryan does not like Bullard. He's beating him down in the dirt pretty hard. So I always have, you guys, I always got my guys, my late round guys. Ryan's always been that way. I've worked around Ryan or helped, around the podcast for many, many years now. So I need this one. He got Zach Tom. He nailed a bunch of them. I got to have Bullard make a comeback here in year two so I can hold my head high and have some bragging rights. But no, all jokes aside, I really am not ready to give up on him. I mean, he's that second-round draft pick, absolute stud out of Georgia. The guy's he looks like a baller. Maybe the game was a little too much, and I really do think that there's a lot of credence in what Emilio talked about, how the guy was constantly being put in positions that he was not training for previously in that week, and he wasn't ever able to settle down and really find what his niche was in this team. I hope that Hafley has understood that, hey, we got to find, much like I think with like Isaiah, was it Simmons?
Yeah.
The guy just, and I don't want to make excuses for him, but he never really found a home. He was so multi-versatile and multifaceted that they felt like they could move him all over the place. But the thing is that when you're a young, struggling, defensive player in this league, it's really hard to just be moved around like a chess piece when you don't have the time to get comfortable with one solid position and then let your body your technique, your skills, all that catch up. You know what I mean? So it's I've got a lot of hope, man. I really do. I need that bragging rights, man.
Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Tim, what do you think, man? You think Bullard's going to rebound this year?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, thank God we have him. I mean, we'd never have this clip.
Thick.
It's
right?
a great point.
Wasn't that where that started? Coach Half talking about Javon Bullard?
It was, yeah.
So,
was that about Bull?
Yeah, that was.
It was Bullard. Yep. Yep.
So I'm with you, Jacob, man. I agree. I'm not down on Javon Bullard. I'm ready to see another year and see what the progress looks like with him. And to your point about guys getting mixed and matched a lot of times, you know, I'm not going to talk or speak ill of coaching or coaches or coaching staffs, but there are times when, you know, staffs inherit a player and they don't know what the hell to do with them. And then the player ends up suffering, and it's not the coach's fault necessarily. It could be scheme. It could be situation. You could run into a crowded room, whatever. And so some guys fall by the wayside. I think if they have a clear path for Javon Bullard and it's, you know, fluctuating between, you know, playing safety and playing a little bit of, you know, slot corner, I think that's fine. That's enough for him right now as he develops. You're not asking him to do too much crazy. Other than last year, you know, we were in that spot where we needed him to start at safety in a pinch, you know, and he wasn't able to prepare for that. I think, you know, in his second year in the league, I think he's going to, you know, have that experience and be able to handle the adversity a little bit better this year. So I'm not willing to quit on him yet. I'm willing to see another year of his development.
Yeah, and for me, like I used to look at players like almost from a kind of how PFF looks at players, like this is their grade, this is how good they are, right? And some people look at it kind of from what I call the Madden effect, right? It's like what's their overall rating, right? Coaches don't look at players like that. They don't. Yeah. They look at players like, what can they add to the team? What do they do well? And how can we put them in a position to do that? And I think that's what Hafley did with Bullard last year, was he noticed he's a little late on his keys at the safety position, and they were kind of forced into letting him play the slot, which he did at Georgia, right? He played both safety and slot corner at Georgia. And then when you seen him in the slot, what did he do well? Man, he could set the hell out of the edge. He could play the run strong. Like, that's what he does well. And how many times do we see him blow up, you know, bubble screens, things like that, attack the ball carrier. So that's why I want to see him stay in the slot. And that's why I kind of am anticipating him not starting, because if Hobbs is going to be your starting slot corner, but we know, man, we're one injury away from Hobbs having to play predominantly outside and Bullard's back in the slot. I just don't think they're going to want to have a second-round pick on the bench for sure. So Dan Mullen with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, not looking forward to Wilkins joining the Lions. Not announced, but it's going to happen. So that's a great point, Dan, which kind of makes you think, why would the Raiders just cut him outright and not try to trade him to a team like the Lions, who have just been decimated at defensive tackle with injuries this training camp, this early training camp? But if you guys don't know what he's talking about, Christian Wilkins was let go by the Raiders. You guys know he was like the top defensive tackle free agent a couple years ago. So I went and checked, just pulled the PFF numbers, and it's not everything, but 74.7 PFF grade. He was the 21st highest graded defensive tackle, and his run defense grade 80.2. He was the third best run defending defensive tackle according to PFF. His pass rush grade 66.9, which isn't horrible, right? Not bad, really. It's kind of above average. So, yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Dan. Appreciate you, buddy. I hate to agree with you there, but I'm going to have to. That seems like that'd be right down Detroit's alley right there, boys, to go sign him. Which you'll notice they keep making these kind of signings, like what they did with Zadarius Smith, and it's easy to go see he's not on the roster anymore. Yeah, but that could have been cap that was rolled over into the next year. That he obviously wasn't a part of your future plans. That stuff starts to add up. I don't think
could be Zadarius Smith just, you know, playing for a new team every season.
Exactly. I don't
his way around the league, you know.
I don't think Christian Wilkins is going to come in and play for a minimum either. That's going to cost him a chunk of change. So hopefully that does not happen. As I think it was, Caldwell Corner mentioned it earlier. Raiders released Christian Wilkins, 29 years old, big defensive tackle. We got the money. What do you think about that possibility of bringing him in? I would be okay with it. However, if you're looking for a 3-tech of the future, him being 29 years old, you know,
what do you think about this?
Yeah, Deadfish said last offseason, Wilkins signed a 4-year, $110 million deal with $84.75 million guaranteed with Vegas. Now, that $84 million guaranteed, Deadfish, I guarantee you that was not guaranteed. I guarantee you that was not actual. That's what you call practical, right? That if he makes the roster, he's guaranteed that money type thing. We'd have to go look at the actual structure of the contract. So that's where the guarantee gets a little bit cloudy, and we try to specify signing bonus to other guarantees. But yeah, listen, do I hope they would sign him? There's a reason the Raiders let him go, and we do know they have been a bad organization. However, he's 29 years old, So now you're going to have Kenny $30 million against the cap next year. You bring in Christian Wilkins. Let's say that number is $20 million against the cap, right? Well, now you got $50 million tied up into two players that are both 30 years old. I don't know how that would work, And we do have the cap space this year now, and then maybe that's what Caldwell's talking about there. If you can get him on a 1 year, $10 million deal, and then you just move on next year, I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. You got the cap space. Go ahead, Jake. What were you going to say, man?
No, it's just kind of in that same vein. Just because of the fact that I was going to say Oakland, that Vegas, the Raiders pipeline to Green Bay seems paved a million times over, like with Bisaccia, with Hobbs, with Jacobs, with
that's a good point.
Who went over there from
We've
us?
Had Jordy Nelson go out there. We've had James
Jordy
Jones
Nelson,
go out there. Devontae Adams went there.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
We also had Stokes go there.
Yeah.
If you're trying to draw a parallel there, though, Jacob, I feel like the Keyshawn Nixon and the Nate Hobbs thing, there were ties to Bisaccia. Christian Wilkins never did play for Bisaccia. Not that they still won't do that, but that's the only thing I would kind of be like, I don't know if that truly matters that he played for the Raiders for. I didn't realize it was just 1 year. I was thinking he was out there for 2. That's wild that he just played 1 year and they cut him loose. I mean, that's absolutely insane there. But speaking of Nate Hobbs, Baz over at Basarski Productions tweeted this out. Great rep by the Packers cornerback Nate Hobbs breaks on the speed out from Wicks perfectly. So you got Hobbs is starting to – he continues to kind of turn heads a little bit, man. I want to say at the end here we'll have another tweet where they actually talked about a pass breakup he had a little later in practice as well. Tim, did you get a vibe from Nate Hobbs in terms of at practice? And I've got a soundbite we'll play from the locker room here.
Oh, we got the BTA live on PTA soundbite.
Let's just go to it. Let's go. We're going to have to create this as a drop, guys. Jacob, you're going to love this. So this is what Nate Hobbs said. And if you got kids in the room, get them out of the room, all right? He said, and this was at Hog NFL tweeted it out, so shout out to him. He said, I'm running around with a pack of dogs, belt to ass. So here we go. Let's hear it.
The rest of the defense, I think I'm running around with a pack of dogs. We run to the ball. We try and get the ball out. We try and belt to ass. BTA. The rest of the defense, I think I'm running around with a pack of dogs. We run to the ball. We try and get the ball out. We try and belt to ass. BTA.
So what we need to do is we need to clip that and tell everybody that he actually said belt to ass PTA. Okay, that's actually what he said.
There you go.
Hey, shout out to Nate Hobbs, too. He took some time this morning, stopped and said hello on his way into practice. He didn't have to do that. Good dude, man.
It's my understanding, if people were right on X, they said the reason him and Carrington were working out together is they've known each other since high school, or he's known Carrington since Carrington was in high school or something.
He's known Carrington since Carrington was 16 years old, I believe.
That's awesome, man.
Yep. Worked out at the same facility together.
Jacob, we talk about all the time, and we're building a team, not collecting talent, man. There's always some kind of tie in there for sure, dude. So love to see it. Nate Hobbs has impressed me. To me, he brings a little bit of an edge. People will probably take this the wrong way. I don't really care, to be honest with you. But you know who he reminds me of as a person, as a human being? Just his persona, the way he carries himself? Tupac. Yeah, Tupac just had this aura about him, like, I don't care what anybody thinks. And he's just got this little...
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
Not Tupac LaFleur, Tim. I'm talking about the real Tupac. Okay, so I don't know. There's a little bit of an edge to him, you know? Like Keyshawn has got a little bit of an edge, but then he's got that funny personality in the back. Nate Hobbs seems like he's going to bring a little bit of intensity, and I think that's good for that room because we've had Ja dancing around, doing all the everything. bringing that type of energy, I think Nate Hobbs is going to toughen up this defense a little bit. What do y'all think about that?
Go ahead,
Yeah, I actually watched this interview. It was the only thing I got to listen to on the way from work to home. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, Tim's going to clip that. He's going to clip that so hard. I really did like the way that just his mentality, like you said, Clayton, he just seems to have a really good energy about him. They asked him, they're like, how do you like Green Bay? He's like, Green Bay is Green Bay, man. He's like, it forces you to get in the playbook. And I love that. He basically said like, yeah, he loves the fans, he loves the aura, he loves the vibe, and he's here to play football. And that's what I appreciate about him. And it sounds like that he actually performed pretty decent on the perimeter. Coach Lynn is saying that. I saw other people in the chat saying that. I even did hear. I listened to the Coach LaFleur interview as well, and he had nothing but good things to say. And obviously, Coach is going to put a little fluff, but lately he doesn't do much fluff. He's a little more. Two-pack LaFleur, so it's encouraging to say the least that he's actually showing up. And I was just going to bring it up, so I'm glad you brought there. Me and Tim's guy Omar Brown, love that.
Yeah,
definitely. Tim, I seen another video I missed from you earlier. We'll have to put that up here in a second, and we'll kind of round it out with that. That's awesome. Shot of Stackhouse there. So I just thought we'd mention this since we were talking Nate Hobbs. Matt Schneidman had tweeted out, defense dominates the 2-minute period. Nate Hobbs pass breakup on an out intended for Wicks to win versus the ones. Then Ballantyne, my boy, interception on Isaiah Simmons' tipped Willis pass. So Malik Willis, where's AFAM? AFAM, you ready to cut Willis now? To win for the 2s. Omar Brown, INT of Elgersman down the middle to win for the 3s. So the defense dominated. It sounds like the offense was doing some push-ups today, but, hey, that's exciting right there, man. That really is. To see, like I said, Hobbs dominating versus the 1s, Ballantyne dominating versus the 2s. That's what you want to hear, man, because that seemed to be one of the big concerns this year is what's this DB room going to look like. So
it's how you work your way up, right?
Mm-hmm.
A guy like Omar Brown looking good against, Taylor Elgersma with the 3s, that's going to get him some reps with the 2s. And if you shine with the 2s, you might mess around, find yourself running around with the 1s and getting opportunities there as well. This is why camp is, it's the best time of year. It really is. You get to see your team being born. You get to see the formulation of, what your team for this season is going to be. And, seeing these guys come up like this is just so fun to see.
Definitely. Training camp is a great time of year, man. And listen, if you're seeing people on your timeline be negative about what's going on in training camp, mute them.
Yeah.
This is the time of year that everybody should be optimistic. Everybody should be excited about football being back, man. Don't let them drag you down, dude.
Life is too short to be miserable, man.
I had somebody climb into mentions earlier, Tim. I think you've seen that exchange, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye,
yeah.
Felicia.
Yeah. I hadn't even blocked him yet, but it's coming. I can't even remember what I said, but it was just a smart aleck comment. It just they're miserable, man. They're absolutely miserable. I think I put a tweet out is what it was on Brian Gutekunst. And I said, let me find it here real quick.
Gutekunst?
Yeah, I said,
nice. Nailed it.
I said Packers GM on Christian Watson. He's a freak. He did a run test the other day and looked great. It's an ACL, so we're going to take our time with him, but he's pressing to get out there, right? So I said Packers GM because I ran out of characters on the tweet, right? Yeah. So I had to jam it in there. You know who the Packers GM is.
Have you tried to type out Brian Gutekunst on yeah, bruh, relax.
So some knucklehead said, I like how you called him the Packers GM instead of his actual name. LMAO, like what? And I just ran out of characters.
Yeah.
Poopy. That's all.
You should have just told him to
sit your butt outside.
That's the type of people you run into is like, if the only time I hear from you on social media or in the YouTube comments is when you're trying to dunk on somebody, you're a troll. You're not contributing. You're not wanting to have a conversation. You're not wanting to talk ball. You just want to be a troll. I don't. Why would I? It's literally like somebody coming to your door and going, hey, I got a bucket of trash out here. Answer your door. I want to dump it on your head. And you keep answering. Like, what are we even doing here? So anyway, this was good news here, I think, Tim, and you were there, boots on the ground. I want to get your take. Matt Schneidman said Quay Walker will only do walkthrough stuff after being activated yesterday, LaFleur says. So we're one step closer, right, to getting Quay back on the field. And I'll say this, man, the ankle bothered him last year before he hurt it, too, if you'll remember.
Yep.
that clean out, maybe this changes everything, dude. What do you think?
It could be. And I actually got a chance to speak with him. He had a brief moment to himself at practice today and talked to me for about a minute. And I asked him how the ankle was. He said he feels good. It's just a process that he's got to go through right now. Heavily taped up, obviously. But the thing that I did notice is, today he was just doing walkthrough rehab work with the training staff. But Quay was engaged with the defense the entire time. So they'd be 20, 30 yards downfield, running with the ones, working on 2-minute drill. And Quay was engaged, in his spot behind that line, still diagnosing the play, understanding what they were running. So he's focused and committed. So I think you're right, man. After this little cleanup surgery and full recovery from that, he was in a walking boot not too long ago and on a little scooter not too long ago. So to see him out there with a helmet on and, the ankle's taped up and he's out there running a little bit, moving around a little bit, that's a good sign this point of the year for sure.
Yeah. Matt says they said about a week and Quay will be able to go. That'd be great. Go ahead, Jake.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yesterday we saw a video of Scoot running around. I don't mean to change the subject, but it just was in my head. Is it? I don't want to jinx it. And I know, Ryan's called people out for this, and he just looks so far along. He's riding a bike. You know what I mean? He's riding a bike and he's riding it well. And because Tim won't brag about it, Scoot went out of his way, changed a little direction, went past Tim, gave him a little dab. We got a picture of it, photo evidence. So basically remembered Tim from the year before. So I'm telling you guys may not understand that Tim is our actual on the field sideline guy, and he's making actual inroads with these players. It's actually really, really impressive, and I'm just proud of him. So congrats.
Quay and Scoot are my guys. I met them both their rookie year, and I think that's kind of how we kind of formed a little bit of a friendship or a bond when you run into each other out there. This is the one here. Shout out to NBC 26 that got this.
Right there. That's our boy Tim. Look at Tim in the shot. My man. Love it.
Here's a guy.
And that's actually the tweet that the smartass commented on too, and I had to slap him down. So that was anyway, 2 for 1 there. I love this one, man. I don't know how I missed it earlier, Tim, since we were still talking defense there. And Jacob, you're gonna love this.
Oh yeah.
Look at Stackhouse.
Turn the sound up on this one, man. Come on, let it ride.
No language, right? No language.
God, he's big.
I don't think so. No.
Here we go. Look at Stackhouse, dude.
Oh. Look at his calves, bro. Them's the tree trunks. Oh wow.
Oh my God! Could you imagine lining up that dude? Oh,
that's a big man.
and that shot is awesome, by the way, man. What an awesome
this is
shot.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's go back one more time. Let's stack off the ball here.
Jeez.
Yeah, I would hate to line up across from him.
It's insane.
You notice that too. That's Coach Ogabasi or VO as they call him. He will make them start if they mess up one rep or if their toe is wrong or they've got their hand placement wrong. He's reloading them and make them go again. There isn't none of this rotate to the back of the line. He's making them start over every time until they grasp the concept. Yeah. And this started, like I said, yesterday, day 1, minute 1. It was this type of execution and intensity, and it's only going to get more intense as we go through camp. So really cool to see.
The thing about Stackhouse too is like he's not fat. I expected him to be a little more Gilbert Brownish. He's just, that dude he's trimmed down too, dude. He's cut up pretty good to be a big boy like that. Go ahead, Jake.
I was just gonna say, dude, literally. So if you can put play, watch how he just drops down to his stance. That's not a fat man doing that. That is an agile. Look, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, real quick.
Like very quick, and he's ready. You see him just. I'm really excited about him, dude. I expect him to make this team. I do. I think that'd be my UDFA for sure to make this team. I just love the way that he looks. He looks like he's hungry, man. Get him.
It just hit me. Didn't Stackhouse play with Wyatt at Georgia? Am I thinking right?
Yeah,
Brinson, Stackhouse, and Wyatt.
Yeah, they won.
Got a gang of Bulldogs over there in that room.
Stackhouse won 2 natties. I think Wyatt won one of those two with him, if I remember correctly. And then you got Quay too, right?
Quay was on those teams. Yep.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. Well, Georgia Bulldog connection. That's a great shot, though, Tim. Appreciate you putting that up there.
Coach Len was asking, how do you not get drafted? Wasn't, if I'm not mistaken, the the kind of speculation was that Brinson would not get drafted and Stackhouse would, and then it somehow got flipped, and they both ended up on the Packers.
We were talking about not Stackhouse early on, first, second round grade on him, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the year before, man. The year before college football started, his last year in college, some people had him projected to be a first-round pick. Yeah. And the only thing I can come up with is the narcolepsy. That's it, man. And that's not to knock him. That's not to be inconsiderate, but that's the only thing that might have.
That was Brinson.
Brinson had narcolepsy?
No, it's Stackhouse.
Yeah.
I thought it was Stackhouse.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, Chad, fact checked us.
I'll check.
Somebody said, "Oh, here, maybe Holmes was maybe I'm the idiot boy." He says he has sleep apnea.
I don't think it was sleep apnea. Let me see here. Let me make sure he's got narcolepsy. Maybe it was just sleep apnea. Georgia football's Nazir Stackhouse and his long struggle with
diagnosed with narcolepsy during his first year at Georgia.
Yeah, I've got sleep apnea because I got 3 chins. All right, I got a mask that I never wear. All right, so it's narcolepsy is literally it's kind of a big deal. Like you can just fall asleep driving, no reason, just you're out. Right, so,
that's crazy.
And maybe they do have some kind of game day medication to help with that. I don't know, but. Nonetheless, Rob Demovsky kind of summed up the whole practice here. That's it for day 2 of practice. The highlights: the defense dominated the 2-minute drill. Nate Hobbs with a 3rd down pass breakup. Carrington Valentine's INT off a tip. Malik Willis pass by Isaiah Simmons. Omar Brown had an interception versus Taylor Elgersma, and it lasted 1 hour and 54 minutes. They usually shoot for about an hour and a half, don't they, Tim? So that one went over a little bit, sounds like. So got some extra work.
Definitely. They started a little late yesterday and got about 95 minutes in or something like that. So today was a little bit more on time, and they went a little bit longer. And you know how that's all the NFLPA and the CBA and everything, what they're allowed to do. But I'm sure we'll see some longer practices here later on.
And we got 32 Joe Rogans in the chat giving us the cure for narcolepsy. And
I was going to say.
Every one of them are illegal, guys. Calm down, all right? This is a family show here.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
All right, let's talk about the last topic of the day. What's that, Jacob?
I said if you need a hookup, I'd call Athens' mom.
There you go. All right.
She's got all of it.
Last topic of the day. Oh, boy, yeah. Why do I always think of Steve Buscemi when I see that picture? I don't know like
Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison when he puts the lipstick on.
Leans back. Oh, man. All right. So speaking of Steve Buscemi, wouldn't he look good in these unis right here, boys? As we got the 1923 classic.
Jacob, I know who you're thinking would look good in these uniforms. Charles Buckets Goldenberg would look phenomenal in those uniforms.
Yes, he would.
Exactly. What do you guys think, man? I'm digging it, dude. They got the stripes on the sleeves and everything. The leather helmets. Me and Aaron Rodgers, our Aaron Rodgers, not the Aaron Rodgers, were messaging back and forth last night, or maybe, I think it was last night or the night before. And I said, I think they're going leather helmets like Illinois. And I'm glad they did. I think this is going to look absolutely sick, guys.
Did you see the video how they made them too? How they're individually hand painted.
Like I wish we could show those videos, man. That would be
me too. Awesome. Guys, go check that out on that's on Packers.com, I believe.
Yeah, and the best thing you'll see is the reaction video. It's the most emotion I've ever seen out of Romeo Doubs in my life, and I think all he does is, "Ooh, those are nice." It's just good to see him have some emotion. I honestly am in love with these uniforms. I think they're so freaking cool. You watch Tucker Kraft when he throws one on and he does the flex. He goes, "The flex was not needed." It's like, oh, it's so awesome.
I think this is definitely the best run of this scheme. You know, we saw these a couple of times, back in the 2010s. And we also saw a variant of this, I believe it was the 94 season, 75th anniversary season. Remember seeing Brett Favre running around in a variation of this uniform. I think this is the best version of it right here, the 1923 edition. We got the leatherhead look. I feel like they nailed the gold striping and the numbers. The tone looks really good with that blue. I think they knocked it out of the park, man.
The one criticism I've seen that I kind of can understand is the one that Coach Len said, and I've seen it with multiple others. It says, I don't like the pants. I wish there was a strip or something like that. Other than that, they're dope. I honestly, I've loved all of them over the years. There hasn't been an alternate uniform that I didn't love. I think they're all, even if they're gross looking, I love it.
No, I'm
I
with
mean,
you.
that's kind of the point, right? They're supposed to look like those crusty, dirty, old 1920s uniforms. Everyone wore brown pants back then, brown
Right,
or tan, right?
Can we just appreciate Tucker Kraft's ink for a second, man? I mean, they every one of them look like jailhouse tattoos, and I was just raised on that. I'm telling you that.
It's true.
I swear, it's like he reminds me of one of my cousins that got out of the clink, making it to the family reunion for the first time in 8 years. You know what I'm saying? That's what he looks like.
He found a guy that specializes in making those types of tattoos where they're so good. He makes really, really good bad tattoos. Trust me, it's not as easy as you may think. I'm telling you.
Is that who does your buttocks tattoos, Jacob? In your
no, but I will tell you that I reached out to one of my buddies and he's like, "I'll do it." And then his wife was like, "Nope, I get to tattoo his butt because they want to see me."
Might not be his wife much longer. Dan Mullen with the super chat said, "I've got a couple Rugrats. Any advice for going to practice?" Tim, you have the floor, sir, for a guy who's got a couple kids here. Hopefully they belong to Dan, but he's got a couple Rugrats he's going to be taking to camp practice. So what do you think, Tim? Any advice?
Get there early. That would be my number one advice, especially if you got the kiddos with you and you want to see the players do the bike ride and stuff like that. I would suggest arriving out there probably 2 hours at least prior to practice time, if not more, depending on what you guys really want to do. I know they start lining up pretty early in the morning for the bike rides by the locker room doors. Probably as early as 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, people line up sometimes. So if that's what you want to do, get there early. That's my main piece of advice. And then hang around the area of Armed Forces Drive and Oneida Street to kind of watch that main drag of the players coming in and out. And then, work your way over to Nitschke Field and grab a seat in the bleachers and, grab a snow cone from the street vendors over there. And like my wife is saying in the chat, bring hats, portable shade, lots of snacks, water and stuff like that is okay to carry in at Ray Nitschke Field. If you've got kiddos and stuff, pack a cooler with some snacks and bring some hats and umbrellas for the shade, because shade is a premium out there when it's super hot, I can tell you.
There you go, Dan. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Enjoy your time out there. Now, Packer Up said, just get a babysitter. Man, how selfish. You unbelievable, Packer Up.
Hey,
great idea. Take the kids to family night. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Cheapest Packer ticket you'll ever find, $10. Can't beat it.
Love this shot right here, too, of the throwback helmet with the 1923 team behind them.
Is that Charles Buckets Goldenberg in the background?
I don't think it is. I feel like I should know who that is. I don't think it's not Cal Hubbard. I don't think Cal Hubbard came along yet in 23. When he came along, Cal Hubbard, you guys don't know, to the best of my knowledge, he's the only person in NFL history that is in the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame and Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, because he was an umpire after he retired from winning championships with Curly, playing for the Packers. But I'm pretty sure that's Mike Michalski over Lambeau's shoulder there. There's Lambeau. Mike Michalski, another guard, small guard, but
is that Johnny Blood doing the gangster lean b-boy stance?
I don't think it is, Tim. I couldn't figure out who that was.
Man, epic.
I couldn't tell if he was trying to hit on the cameraman or if he's trying to look tough. You know what I'm saying? But my man pulled both off at the same time. So Daniel in the chat said, that's Jason Bourne. Love it. All right, so one last thing here, a quick little recap. I love to just kind of go through and ask AI, hey, comb through the interwebs. Did we miss anything? So we probably covered everything here. Put it up on the Patreon group. If you guys want to join our Patreon community, it's the best way to support what we do here. $3 get you access to everything. It also gets you access to all the chats, the giveaways. Anyone who's a member in the Patreon group or a member here on YouTube, just hit join on YouTube as well. We're going to be giving away an autographed Dontavion Wicks rookie card this weekend. So make sure you're a member of one of those two aspects, and we'll put your name on the wheel, spin it, and give that away to one lucky viewer. This is what Tim was talking about, though, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Also, let me mention this real quick while I'm thinking about it. The Fantasy Football League. If you're a Patreon member, what we did last year was Patreon members, we're going to create a fantasy league, first come, first serve, first one that gets added in. Well, this year, those who were in the league last year, you're grandfathered in, okay? So if you were in the league last year and you want to be in the league this year, make sure you hop on Patreon as quick as possible and get entered in. Jacob's already got the site up and running and everything good to go for the Fantasy League, but we're going to cut it off midnight Sunday because we got a bunch of people wanting to join and we got slots we need to fill. So if you're hearing my voice, please don't hesitate. If you were in the league last year and you want to be in it again this year, go to Patreon and go ahead and get signed up for the Fantasy League. It's going to be an absolute blast. Did I miss anything there, Jacob, other than we're going to have a flow over league as well? Once that's full, if we got enough people to fill another league, we'll have a secondary league as well. You want to be in that top one, though, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. It's going to be a 14-man team right now. I think we have 5 or 6 that have for sure guaranteed that they're going to be in it. It's going to be super fun, man. It's going to be a super flex, full PPR, 2 defensive players. We tweaked the scoring from last year because it was a little bit wonky. People ended up having their last round of the playoffs in week 18, which is never ideal. So we switched it, pulled that over so that the last week of playoffs is going to be week 17. So everybody has a way more fair shot. The payout, I believe.
Playoffs?
Somewhere around 350. We're going to pay out 4 spots because we have so many people, so that at least the 4th place person gets their money back. It's going to be a blast, guys. There's already so many people in the fantasy chat that are excited. Andrew Matson's going to be my co-commissioner. Nice. And if there is a spillover, maybe he'd want to commission that one. Maybe we could talk about that. But, guys, it's going to be so much fun. And honestly, we're going to touch on it randomly through the season. So if you want to have yourself literally be a part of the podcast, get in there. And all you got to do is join the Patreon League. What's the cheapest they could do it for, Clay? Is it $3?
It's $3, get you access to everything. We got a 5 and a 10. There's nothing extra with that. That's just people that wanted to donate more. You can join an upper tier, but you still get access to everything. So $3, yeah. And you can pay it for the year too. There was a bunch of people that I didn't even know you could do that. And I noticed people were paying for the year and they were saving money. So there's a discount with that as well. Patreon handles all that. So, but yeah, it's an awesome time in there. And we're going to hit the questions tomorrow. We kind of neglected them a little bit. We got a questions for the show tab. So you can ask questions and we'll read them off here live on the air for every other show or so. So just a couple things that went through. And Jacob, thank you for heading that up, man. I really appreciate it, dude.
Of course.
Special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia is mentoring rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden, nicknaming him Bullet after Hall of Famer Bullet Bob Hayes, a former Cowboys receiver and Olympic gold medalist who wore number 22 like gold. And how cool is it that Bisaccia keeps tying in historic NFL players to current Packers to kind of get them in touch with the history of the game? You guys know Bob Hayes was a dog, speed demon. However, in the Ice Bowl, this is a really cool Packers history thing. Go back and watch the Ice Bowl. You can find it all over YouTube. There's an NFL Films version of it that's really good because they do behind-the-scene interviews and stuff. It was filmed a long time ago. They said that I think they asked, I want to say it was Herb Adderley, they asked him, Packers cornerback, hey, what's going on with Bob out there? He's like, oh, don't worry about him. Anytime he's not in the play, he's not going to be running a route to catch the ball. It was so cold at the Ice Bowl. He said he's sticking his hands in his pants. So all I got to watch is he got his hands in his pants or not? If he don't, then I know he's going to be in the pass route and I cover him. If he's got his hands down in his pants, I just don't even cover him. So pretty cool that the cold got to Bob Hayes. Bob Hayes was a dog. Pretty sure he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer as well.
Yep.
Said this inspiration came after Golden caught a touchdown in Wednesday's practice and made a notable catch on Thursday, breaking away from the defense. Golden researched Hayes and highlighted his speed, I guess, in a press conference there or a conversation at the locker in the last couple of days. So there's Bob Hayes winning the Olympic gold medalist. He was the fastest man in the world at that time that the Cowboys signed him, I'm pretty sure. So pretty cool little history there. How awesome is it, though, that your first-round pick is being mentioned with the likes of Bob Hayes and that kind of speed? It's awesome. So we kind of talked about this. The defense showed up there in the 2-minute drill. Nate Hobbs' breakup, Carrington Valentine, so we're good there. Omar Brown getting the pick of Taylor Elgersma. Left guard Aaron Banks, who signed the 4-year, $77 million contract in the offseason, left practice early and did not return. Travis Glover filled in. We'll mention it one more time for Emilio on the road back from New York. And then linebacker Quay Walker, activated from the physically unable to perform list on Wednesday, is limited to jog through work for now per Coach LaFleur. So just a little, like I said, update on everything kind of from a 30,000-foot view there. Anything else? Was anything we missed?
Emilio's just a Glover lover, you know?
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
So, all right, guys, we're out of here. This was fun. Hopefully we got you all up to date on everything that's going on around the Packers in training camp. Do we got to practice tomorrow, Tim? What's the latest on that, man? What do we got?
Tomorrow. Practice in the morning at 10:30, followed by the annual meeting of shareholders at 3 p.m. So it'll be a long day for the Lambeau faithful tomorrow. And then, day off on Saturday, and then 2 more, Sunday and Monday. Football's back, baby.
That's awesome.
It is back, no doubt about it. So, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow to cover practice and everything that went on there. We'll do the same thing on Sunday. We may try to go live during practice on Sunday. That would be fun, and just kind of give updates in real time. That would be good. Now, we got family night coming up on August the 2nd, right? So August the 2nd, I'm so bad at scheduling stuff. I'm going to be at Bristol Motor Speedway watching the Braves and the Reds play the first ever baseball game in the Speedway. So if everything goes as planned, Jacob and Tim, I believe, are going to try to do a stream during family night where y'all can just kind of hang out and talk ball during it, just make whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. If you can't make it happen, no big deal. If they do, I will call in from Bristol Motor Speedway and just chat with you guys for a minute. So the plan, though, is to we want to bring you guys as much content as possible in real time when these events are taking place. So we get the first preseason game on the 9th. Then you got the second one on the 16th, the third and final one on the 23rd. We're going to give you – actually, they're right here. We get the joint practice, right? So on the 21st, there's a joint practice on that Thursday with the Seahawks. That'll be a fun one. To me, those are just as important as a preseason game, man, because you get those 1-versus-1s for sure. So, guys, we're coming down a stretch. Won't be long. We'll be talking about it's week 1, so really excited about it. But that being said, we're out of here. Don't let this dude hit on you in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? On your way out. And, we'll see y'all tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll recap everything that goes on at practice tomorrow. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. There's Jacob's weird wave. Go Pack, go.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.